NeuAer. NeuAer.
Hello. Thanks, Don. All right, so we're seeing some great products today, and all these products came about because of a story. And my story goes back to the Web 1.0 era, and that was with the QCat. Now, how many of you guys picked up a QCat at a Radio Shack store? Yeah, that's right, or got one mailed to you by Wired or maybe Forbes magazine. So this little gadget right here, I invented in 97, 98 with some guys in Dallas, Texas. And we had a dream of connecting the physical world, print products, with the virtual world. So this ended up being the most hacked device ever, and still to this day, people are hacking it. Anybody take one apart, get rid of my encryption? Yeah, it's a really common thing to do. So the inspiration for this product led us to develop what I'm going to show you today, which is Tooth Tag. We started thinking about all the radios that were inside cell phones. These things do 3G, 4G, Wi-Fi, GPS, and even Bluetooth and near-field communications, which we're going to see a lot more of. So Tooth Tag lets you scan a room of all the wireless devices, and watch out because I'm scanning you guys right now. And I can tag certain devices. I can tag Wi-Fi hotspots in the room. I can tag cell phones. And I can set up rules based upon things that I tag. So first thing I did was really simple. I tagged a phone. So I tagged my little BlackBerry here. The user scenario here would be I'd be sitting inside of a coffee shop and a friend would walk by outside on the street, and my Tooth Tag enabled phone would start ringing, playing a sound, even vibrating when my friends walk by outside. So no longer do you have to do a heads in, check in, look behavior. Your phone just starts vibrating or starts doing an event automatically. Another good application is to vibrate your ex-girlfriends too, so you know when to leave the bar. Now, Bluetooth handsets, you guys have, everybody knows the little jawbones, you name it. You probably have them, dozens of them sitting into a drawer. So you can also tag headsets and put those in your kid's pocket or your kid's backpacks. And you can have disconnect alerts. So it's not just connections when people get too close. My favorite disconnect event is tagging my car. So when I turn it off, it drops a pin on Google Maps. And just by adding it to a map, I can see where I parked and very easily navigate myself back. Thank you, thank you. So there's an example. You just pop it up, and we're going to do the little breadcrumbs to take you right back to your car. So yeah, the San Franciscoites love that feature. So these are events that are residing within the phone. So in our true hacker spirit, we thought, what if we do some events that are API driven? So yesterday when I walked in here, I tagged the Wi-Fi access points with launch and checked them into Foursquare. So that element links to your existing Foursquare account. You can say on connect, hold down, and in a second it's going to pull up all the API venues of Foursquare. So you can scroll through all these. At the top we put launch, just select that, and you can set a threshold. So if you go into your coffee shop 10 times a day and you don't want your boss to know about it, you can say only check me in if I've been there for 10 minutes. Click OK, you can even do a shout message, and then when I walked into this venue this morning, it automatically checked me in. So that's kind of cool. Thank you. So last but not least, how many here use Google Voice? Yeah, very popular service. Google Voice is awesome, but I don't quite trust the Borg to take all of my calls. So I just do the call blast, right? So when you call my G-Voice number, it rings my cell phone, it rings my office phone, and it rings my Google Chat account. So I can set, the problem with that is when my cell phone is off, it takes over my voicemail for Google Voice. So meaning my cell phone rings directly into, or my voicemail to Google Voice rings directly into my cell phone voicemail and I don't get the call. So since I have bad cell coverage at my house, when my Android phone sees my laptop open up, it starts forwarding to my Gmail account, so then I can take the call on my laptop. When I get to my office, it starts forwarding the calls from Google Voice to my desk phone, and that's through seeing the Wi-Fi. So you can set up all these connect and disconnect rules and point them at any service that we have enabled here. So that's kind of the icing on the cake, though. And in the spirit of Steve Jobs' birthday, you all know it's his birthday today, right? Yeah. So I want to do one more thing. Should I do the one more thing, or is that a little bit gauche?
And one more thing.
All right, one more thing it is. Okay, so the one more thing is you guys. We've built this as a platform, and the platform is such that you can build these applications on top of it. And we kind of have a vision for this platform. The vision is that you walk into a room, and you never meet a stranger. You're able to maybe see via tie-ins with LinkedIn or tie-ins with Foursquare that someone is nearby that you should meet. And at the top, we've got Charlie Sheen. He just got out of rehab. I should definitely go grab a drink with him. Don Dodge is nearby. I can click on Don's LinkedIn profile and find out that, yes, indeed, he's still at Google, and we should chat with him. And then people that I should meet as well. I see Jessica Jones that has a 42% match with me based upon Match.com. Now that's higher of a percentage of match than any girl I've dated in real life. So I definitely have to talk to her. And then at the end, you'll see some offers. Bin 38, buy one, get one free. Maybe we can have a little AngelGate session there. And then a Groupon offer for cleaning. So this is the vision that we have for the platform. So thank you.
Wow. If you guys only knew what a mess this presentation was 48 hours ago. Holy cow, that was awesome. Feedback from our judges.
Putting the smart in smartphone.
Thank you.
Wow, yeah, good tagline. I like it.
Is the Wi-Fi just SSID, or do you?
So all of these, all radios beacon a MAC address. Okay. So unlike Google, we don't look into the packets. We just look at the header information.
Hey-o.
So, you guys all love it. This is great. I love it.
But
that's a really geeky low blow.
But you won't get a.
Yeah. So it's
that was a nerd low
no, good
blow.
point. So we look
you
at.
won't get false positive with.
No, you have to actually see the device.
Out there.
Yeah. You have to see the device. We also do calls on the Foursquare API or any other APIs to get any geo data as well. And with near-field communication, that was the big buzz at Mobile World Congress last week. Right. And the Nexus S is the first phone to have that. I think we'll see more phones. Maybe the iPhone has that in the future. So this NFC is just an evolution. And we'll just do this as building blocks on top of the NeuAer platform.
But at least initially, you need to keep your Wi-Fi on.
Sort of. So we can also go through APIs. So if your friends are checking in through legacy systems, we can get information data through API calls on the two-way services as well. But it works best with wireless because it's in your pocket, heads down.
So great presentation. I totally want to use it. It seems really clean, elegant, seamless, awesome. But how much of a lead time do you think you have vis-a-vis your competitors? And the corollary question is there any IP around this?
Yeah. So with the QCAT, I have 110 patents. Personally, I have 65 granted. So I spend a lot of time with intellectual property. It's how I go to sleep at night. It's really boring. But yeah, we've got such a far lead time in this. There have been auto check-in services, and those have used GPS. And as you know, GPS will just destroy a battery. So if you keep that on throughout the day, you'll get what? Your battery life goes from the morning to the afternoon, you're already dead. So we use lower power technologies. I think we've got a huge head start.
Interesting to see what people do in the gaming space with this too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be fun.
Yeah, it's like a real-world scripting language.
Yeah, to the IP question, I mean, you really are just monitoring network traffic, looking at MAC addresses, associating them, and adding your own services. But that's a code snippet that'll get out there. Like that's not a complex idea. So what's the next step? How do you get people to pay for this and lock them in? Do you launch a SDK for iOS now and get people using your stuff? Or
yeah, that's a great question.
It's the technique that's interesting, but other people are going to go cool and go figure it out.
So I partnered with Rob Meadows with Originate Labs. He's got a great development shop that's done mobile backend database applications for dozens of other companies. And the whole idea is to release an API that anyone can tap into. And that means anyone is all you guys, by the way.
Are you guys going to build an app? A killer app that will be an example?
So that's what ToothTag is. Actually, ToothTag's available in the Android store right now. You can download it today in the spirit of launch. And the ToothTag app is really a showcase app to the platform. I don't really want to be in the app business. I want to be in the enabling business.
So are you recreating Skyhook, like a user-generated Skyhook?
Sort of, kind of, not really. But interesting analogy.
I think this is super rad.
It's a great answer.
I think this is super rad, despite the sport coats, which threw me off at first. Thought maybe you guys were going to pitch a banking platform or something.
Thanks,
yeah, I think this is great. I think we've seen technologies like this that make things that hackers are capable of doing like more accessible to the public, right? I mean, Blogger was really just a front end on FTP, and yet suddenly tens to hundreds of millions of people could publish. And I think what you're doing is, as you said, it's a real world scripting language, and yet most people can't script. And so this kind of generates a whole new accessibility to creative applications for this, and it's pretty cool. I was thinking specifically about your example of your phone letting you find your car.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it would actually be really useful for me if my car could help me find my phone. So maybe enable it in the other direction too.
So how many people carry multiple smartphones, multiple phones? You guys, like I've got an Android in one pocket, a Bluetooth in another, and a BlackBerry, iPhone, Android, whatever, everything. So when my phones lose each other, they kind of alert me and show me a map, put on the map. So that's cool.
Yeah, I feel like your killer app is just, dude, where's my car?
Yeah, but you know, that's such a small piece, and there's other apps already in the Android store that do that.
Yeah, I just think it's a good example.
Yeah, it's good. I like that.
I mean, the
good news is it's in there. It's like Prego, and we can add all this other cool stuff on top of it.
I just like something to happen when I walk away from my PC, things like that. I see so many things being enabled by this technology.
Right. Yeah, and there's esoteric stuff I didn't do, like auto login. So when you walk up to your computer, it logs you in. You could set this up to auto let you in your door if you have a door buzzer. I mean, you could get as geeky as you want.
It would be awesome. It's kind of a crazy idea, but could you have like a little something that you put on your keychain that also talks to your cell phone? So if you lose your keys,
it's funny. We thought about that.
All the time.
You could hook your old Bluetooth earpiece on. We thought about that, but fundamentally, we're changing human behavior. And one of the things I got dinged with most with the QCat, which goes back to '97, before Wi-Fi, before smartphones, no camera phones or anything, is people said I was changing human behavior. So for you to have to charge your keys or charge a dongle on your cell phone, I think those are disruptive in their own, and probably won't get as much traction that way. But the good news is being open, being a platform, anybody can do whatever their killer app is for it. So we can definitely drill a hole in a Bluetooth earpiece for you and put it on your keychain.
Awesome. Let's hear it for Jason. Now the company's NeuAer, right? The company is NeuAer.
Yes.
And the product you showed is?
It's Tooth Tag.
Tooth Tag. Okay.
Yep. And NeuAer, you see, I had to get really creative with spelling it. When you know, no longer can you drop an E or an add two E's like we did with Boxy. You got to do all vowels.
Awesome. Thank you.
Wait, hold on.
Oh,
not going to let you off the hook.
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
Pass this down.
Right, two real quick things. Sorry, I know you already got your final applause. One, iPhone. How are you going to do that on iPhone? Obviously, premium platform. They're kind of leading the way for smartphones that don't do backgrounding anything.
That's right.
And this relies on backgrounding. So that's obviously a really important component. And then second, you didn't mention business model at all.
Do you need a business model anymore?
Yes.
It's like 2011, isn't it? We had no business models last year. No, I think the business model is very much like MySQL. So MySQL has a free version. When people start getting traction, then we'll start having charging for it. And Rob's company did a product called TechTrack on the iPhone, very much like Find My iPhone on Mobile Me. And we actually got multitasking to work. So we're going to use some of the intellectual property from one of his other projects and make the thing come back to life.
He's saying no.
Oh, right. Sorry. I used the wrong term. We're going to use an idea of the technology, but not the Find My iPhone element. So.
Awesome.
Thanks, Ryan.
Well done.